Okay, take two. Call sign Scooter here again with a Phantom. All right, let's get started with the startup. So we're gonna put our helmet on. It's gonna test the master to make sure that the indicators show correctly, which it does. Turn that off. Can we check the fuel boost pump with the master on? Okay, no. Forget what I was trying to do. Anyway, all right, so context menu. All right, and then, okay, there we go, finally. So we'll do that. External power, connect it. Get rid of that. Turn the volume up for intercom. All right, so it looks like the power is on, so we're gonna turn the generators to external. Verify that we're getting power. Okay, let's do a comms check, just to make sure I can hear. Alright, there we go. Comms check.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so we got the external power. We're going to get the air source connected to the right.
Roger.
Now, I don't know the startups by heart, but I know how to get it started and running.
Connected on the right.
So start airflow on the right.
Done.
Okay, and then what we're looking for now is 10%. So yeah, the startup isn't going to be exactly to procedure. It's not going to be by the book. Just going to be from what I can remember. Okay, so now that's done. We are now going to hold the right ignition, get it out of idle, up to about half, back, still holding the ignition, and then now checking for the EGT. Make sure it's going, which it kind of is. Okay, right master, forgot about that. Okay, been let go. We're good. Oh boy. So now we're just waiting for the engine to stabilize. Make sure that we don't overheat the engine. Hydraulic pressure's coming up, oil pressure's coming up. Okay. Good start. Now we're going to turn generator on to the right, and then we're going to ask to stop the airflow to the right.
And done.
Okay, and then we're going to connect it to the left engine.
Roger.
And the reason why the context menu is getting cut off is because, I think partly because I'm using multi-thread, because I can see my mouse cursor now, the yellow and green.
Connected left.
Right, let's start.
Yep.
So
done.
I need to offset the context menu off to the left by about 250 pixels. It's at 200 pixels right now, but it's going to have to go another 50 pixels so I can see everything. Anyway, we are at 10%, past 10%. Right master on, or left master on, left ignition, get it out of the detent, and then 50 and back. Holding right ignition switch, EGT is moving along quite well. Gonna let go of the ignition now. Alright, now we're just waiting for the engine to start up and stabilize. Alright, so good oil pressure, good hydraulic pressure, RPM and temps are looking good as well. Turn on the left generator. We're going to then stop the airflow.
If you're done with the generators, I can start the alignment.
Okay. Cycle B, and yep, good for alignment.
Roger that. What alignment are we going for?
We'll do full alignment.
Alrighty, starting full alignment.
Okay. Stop the airflow.
Already
Okay.
done.
Disconnect.
Roger. Disconnected.
And then disconnect external power.
Roger. Yes, sir. External power is disconnected.
Alright. We're going to turn UHF to transmit receive plus guard, IFF to standby. We'll turn on the modes 1 and 3 for IFF for right now. Don't exactly know if it's implemented or not. Put the oxygen down to normal. We don't need 100% oxygen. And then as we wait for Jester to do his thing, we're going to go ahead and do our ground checks. Because, we'll do pitot heat.
Roger. Pitot check, good.
Okay, pitot is good. Let's then do the spoiler actuator.
Ready.
We're going to do the left.
Okay. Partial deflection. Yep, retracted.
Alright. And then we'll ask him to do it again. To
Ready.
the right.
Okay, partial deflection. Retracted.
Good.
Door open.
Good.
Door closed.
Good. Alright, now we're going to do flight controls.
Ready.
Rudder.
Rudder right.
Okay.
Rudder
Good.
left. Roll left.
Alright.
Roll
Good.
right. Stab
Alright.
up. Stabilizer down.
Alright. We're good.
Roll left.
Alignment completed. Go primary sync now. We're ready to taxi.
Primary sync, so we'll go ahead and stand by. Oh, sync. Go from standby to prim. Go ahead and set the altimeter. And flag is gone. Good, no more than 75. We're at, what is it? 2992 standard. Okay, that's unlocked and working. Okay. And then radar. Here we go.
Okay, canceling. Tell me when you're ready.
So that's done. Flight controls, let me just get, we can do stab out.
Ready. No movement. No movement. No movement.
Okay. Just to make sure that things don't move while we taxi, I'm going to go ahead and turn oxygen on. Anti-skid is off, so we can taxi. We'll turn the auto tone down just a little bit, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Alright, so we do have a centerline fuel tank, so external fuel tank, 174 pounds, we can let that go, that's total internal. We won't switch to the centerline until we take off, because if we start draining the fuel tank, centerline fuel tank now, by the time we take off, if there's a leak in the center tank, it's pressurized, so from what I can remember, it can cause some fires. Now, I don't know if it's modeled or not, but we'll see. So we have open on, then handoff, down for the RWR. Get the IFF turned on. Okay. And cage that. Just make sure that it's aligned with the horizon. As far as I'm aware, everything's good except for canopy and then also the aux switches. So once we get out to the runway, we'll probably reset the master caution light. And so I think everything's good to go. We'll ask them to remove the wheel chocks. Okay.
Roger. And the wheel chocks are out. You're all set. Looking good. Have a good flight. And disconnect.
Alright, so that's it. With the ground crew, we'll go ahead and just slowly advance the throttle to about 75% to start rolling. There we go. And then we're just going to quickly test the brakes. Brakes good.
Just remember your training. We got this.
So now we're going out to taxi. And what's weird is that the nose wheel steering has to constantly be depressed in order for you to move with the nose. So it's a lot of holding buttons.
Hey, we're going to be down in waterfowl territory in this flight.
Oop.
Roger that.
And we're just going to assume that we already have the clearance for takeoff. This should be the end of the runway. Yeah, I'm like doing all sorts of finger gymnastics on the controller since, you know, I don't have HOTUS. So the runway as best we can. Alright, so we're going to stop here. Oxygen is on and flowing. Turn all 3 stab augs on. Close canopy, Control C. Okay, locked. We'll wait for Jester to do his. Alright, extinguished. Oh.
Canopy down and locked. Lights out and stripes aligned.
Alright, so all warning lights are gone. We can then reset the master caution light that extinguishes. Anti-skid. Turn on for takeoff. Alright, let's turn and burn. Oh, hold on. 80% with brakes. Okay. Good. See, was it 80%? Let's go.
Engine's good. Airspeed's coming alive.
Alright, full left rudder to kind of get back aligned a little bit.
80 knots.
Okay.
100 knots. I counted. Flaps up.
Oops, I forgot to put the flaps down. And gear up.
Gears moving.
And then we'll get off
Gear up.
afterburn. And nose trim down 3. Oy, so many things missed. Then again, this is only the 3rd time I've started up the Phantom. Let's get some nose trim up, actually. And so I think he's got us navigating to our first waypoint. Let's see, we are about 84 nautical miles away from that. Let's go ahead and climb out. See, what's our speed? 200 knots. Yes. Let's get some speed. Can't believe I forgot the flaps. I think Control V is my visor. Yep, because Jester has his down. Okay. So about 11,000. Well, let's see about going up to, I don't know, 15. Let's do some nose down trim. Okay. So the oral tone, okay, oral tone is down a little bit. So here's the mission. Now that we've gotten started up, and now we're just ingress right now. The mission today is none other than a good seed strike mission, or SEAD, however you want to pronounce it. For suppression of enemy air defenses. So I'm armed with 2 Shrikes, and the Shrikes have been set in the mission editor already for the loadout to get set to doggone. Yep. To get set to fan songs for SA2s. So I'm kind of like doing a Vietnam era-esque type thing where just SA2s were the biggest threat for the most part from what I have read. So SA2, and then I've also set up I've set up random parameters for a bandit to potentially spawn after we take out the radar. So once we take out the radar, then a timer starts for a bandit to randomly spawn, and then I can decide to get out of the area to stop the timer and to prevent the bandit from spawning. Speaking of which, I do have 4 sparrows, so we're going to turn CW on. We're going to let that run for about a minute, just to get the missiles warmed up and tuned to the fire control system. Yeah, it'll take about a minute. So we'll see these lights illuminate to let me know that everything's all good to go. And again, we should only have 4 sparrows, so we should only have 4 lights popping up. And then since Jester is taking care of navigation, this arrow is where we're going to go. We have 58 nautical miles left till we hit the waypoint. Alright. And then we'll set up the Shrikes when we get close enough, when we fence in. So once we get into the fence-in zone... Okay. I maybe only got... Oh yeah, because I have a jammer pod on one of the stations, so I only have 3 sparrows. Okay. So now that that's on, I'll just go back to standby. And that way, if we tangle with any MiGs up here, all I have to do is just turn that back on and be good to go. Actually, no. When I fence in, I turn them on and then I keep them on until I fence out. Now the fence-in zone, I'll get notified once I cross into the fence-in zone, and then we'll turn this on, keep it on. Alright. Now we're going to draw from the center fuel tank. Oh, it was going up. I was about to say, like, why am I losing so much fuel right now? Okay, so now it's drawn from the center. Now that we're up in the air. Alright. Other than that, everything looks really good in VR. I mean, the radar, easy to read. Frame rate, as I said in the last video, still kind of like on par with the F-14. Most likely because there's so much going on in here. We'll just do a little bit of nose up trim. Alright, a little bit of nose down trim. A little bit more nose down trim. We'll see that it's quickly wanting to climb. And once we fence in, it should be about 30 miles, a little less than 30 nautical miles to the target that we fence in. Okay, a little bit of nose up trim. A little bit more nose up trim. Good lord. So yeah, the aural tone for the Shrikes, if you don't know, you've seen the BMS videos where the F-16, all you have to do is select your harms, and with the harms, you can program it to whatever sensor that's out there, and you can employ it in several different ways. Well, with the Shrikes, the AGM-45s, they are a little bit different. They have to be pre-programmed, as I mentioned before, to whatever radar that you're going to be employing against, so that means that you need to have intel ahead of time in order to select the correct radar, because once you select it, get started, there's no way to change or update the Shrike to look for a different sensor. So it selected the fan song, and once I turn on the once I turn on the Shrikes, I'll get a tone, and the tone is kind of annoying. But once we get tone, now we want to get, pretty close to the radar before we actually let them loose. And then we're going to let loose with all the Shrikes that we have, and they should be on the outboard. We're going to let loose with all the Shrikes that we have, because unlike the harm, which by the Shrike standards, the harm is a precision. It's okay. So we're fenced in, SAM site's located, so we're going to go ahead and turn CW on. Leave it on. We're going to master arm on. And we're going to do the outboard. We're going to select arm. Oh, no. Direct. There we go. Alright, so the Shrikes are ready to go. Now all we gotta do is wait for the SAM site to turn on. Which sounds awful. That's what we're waiting for. But yeah, so we'll let loose with all the Shrikes. That way we have a higher chance to hit if we just barrage it with a ton of Shrikes. Which in this case I've only got 2. And I'm pretty sure they're on the outboard. Let me just double check. Yes. So they are on the outboard stations. Let me tell Jester. Let's see, for the systems, jammer. Stand by.
Wilco.
We don't want to turn on the jammer. We want to make sure that it sees us. Alright, so yeah, we had to set the weapon selector to arm for the Shrike, and then direct, because that's the target or the attack profile that we're going to be using. Direct, and that's it. Okay, and then we're going to switch to underground. And then we have the cursor. Now the reticle, I do not believe we need to set the mills for the Shrike. We just kind of need to point our nose in the general direction and be good. So we're about like 17 miles. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, it's there. Oh, there we go.
Bud, 2 o'clock, SA2.
Oh, there's that tongue. And then we're just gonna let loose. 1. And then let loose with the other one. I think I let loose with the other one. Okay, yeah, I did. So we're just gonna pop a little bit of chaff and beam it. Just head for the deck. And yes, there are actual launchers. Let me just... Oh, that's the RWR that's wigging out. He hasn't picked up a launch yet. I wonder if we can... I want to see if I can do some BDA. Okay. We're gonna try and find this Sam. Oh, it's gone. Unless I overshot it. Nope. I just checked because I didn't get a BDA assessment on it. Oh. Well, there's my answer. I think I was too far out. Oops. Okay. So I can still use the gun. Yep, I was way too far out. Whoopsie. I wonder if it would engage me up here. up here.
That's the Singer, 12 o'clock, SA2.
Well, I don't see anything. Okay. I want to say that's where the SAM site is. Well, let's see if it can attack the search radar. I don't know if it fired both. Systems. Let's see, check for quantity.
20.
Man, you went what? 20 what?
20.
Well, you're not giving me anything. Okay, yeah, I think they fired both launchers at the same time. Too bad, so sad. Let's get rid of the radars. Actually, no. We are not close enough to roll in yet. Alright, so then a question I do have, though, for heat blur is, how do they get the noises for the RWR? Because it sounds, I don't know, just right. I don't know, all the beeps and tones and stuff just sounds really good. Okay, rolling in. Since I was way too far out for the Shrikes. Okay. Let's line it up here. Let's kick in a little bit of rudder. Boom. Okay. There's a low battery. Okay. Alright, so that's destroyed. Let's see. Let's just check. Okay. So that's destroyed. So now what it should do is start the timer for a MiG spawn. So we'll try to hang out in the area for a little bit. I think every minute it should randomize if it's going to get spawned or not. Okay. Let's see, just out of curiosity. Dive toss profiles. View profile, Mark 20. Mark 84, Snake Eyes, Mark 82s, Mark 82s. Let's see, Strafe. Ah, here we go. Mills. Let's see. Horizon Range. Let's see, Apex, 13 Wind. We'll say 55. Based on this chart, just middle of the range. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. Let's see. Did it start yet? Let me see. Message history. Okay. No. Maybe I did it wrong. Ugh. What's the map say? So yeah, they're gone. Don't need those armed. Okay, so the handoff looks like I don't really need to do, since it did launch on me and I did get notified. So that's good. So let's see, 999. Still have 174 gallons in the center tank. So it'll be kind of weird. I'll have to see how I set this up. If I don't get anything by waypoint 1, because I haven't really touched waypoint 1, I'll just have Jester take me back to the airfield and then try to land. So we're going about, what, 350 knots? That's fine. I'll go ahead and switch to Master Editor mode. And then select radar. So I had to, on my so the Xbox controller, I set the trim to the D-pad up and down, and then the pinky switch for heaters, the gun, and then the sparrows, just left and right. That way it frees up for countermeasures on the Xbox button, and then I have the nose wheel steering on nose wheel steering on the menu button, and then for X I've got the ARR or AAR, the aerial refueling button, for uncaging Mavericks, and also being able to enable the slew feature for slew feature for Mavericks and things of that nature. Actually, what do I have set as? Oh, then A is trigger, and then B is pickle.
Alrighty, steering to next turn point is in.
Okay. So, I think I messed something up with the setup. So go to message history. Yeah. So that means I gotta go back and look at how that's set up. Let's see. Nope, I wanted navigation. Navigation, go to steer point 3.
Copy that. Steering set.
Okay. So then we're going to head on to fencing out. So I think I'll set up the steer point to the radar site. That way I can kind of guesstimate the range. Which sort of helps me out. Wait, what's the center fuel line now? The Starl says it's still 174. I thought it would be using it by now. So what if I turn it off and let it do its thing? Okay, well, whatever. And just in case, I'll just keep everything on until I fence out. Oh yeah, so then what do I got for the... So right stick, oh yeah, the right stick click. That's for the gesture menu, context menu, and then the left stick click is to reject targets. So I don't have anything bound to the cage, and then the top bumpers are the throttle, and then triggers are the rudders. That's how I have mine set up right now. We'll see how it goes. So far, so good. Alright, 67 nautical miles out. So, 67 nautical miles out. I think at about 30 nautical miles out, somewhere in there, we should fence out. Yes, sir. I'm kind of curious how it does pull from the fuel tanks. About 57 nautical miles out. Yeah, we should have enough fuel for sure. Alright, so my first impressions of the Phantom, intimidating for sure, but once you understand the principle of how it works, it's not so bad. I'm also kind of not missing multifunction displays, to be honest. Call me old school. But analog is really cool. Can't do any of that. So if might have accidentally set it to the group if it's dead instead of just the sensors or sensor. Now if it does notify me that I fenced out, I wonder where the disconnect is. Just start the timer. It's the only bad thing about testing your own custom missions. Alright, so 40 nautical miles out, about 849 pounds of fuel. Now I'm just kind of messing around just to see. So there's total pounds. Yeah, I should have fenced out by now. Let me just real quick check the message history. Yeah, there's something going on with it. Alright, so we're gonna turn off CW, turn off master arm, turn off gun pylon, don't need it. Let's see, so we're 30 miles out, 28 miles out. we're going to see about landing. Now, I have not landed the Phantom yet, so you're about to witness my first landing with it. I just know that to enter into the pattern, you want to be around 230. Well, why am I guessing? I should be able to just pull this up in the checklist. Ooh, combat radius bingo. Now that is useful. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Landing, taxi light, landing, switches, off, safe, stow, stand by your cage, radar tender, set, fuel, check, impact, oh, less than 210 knots. Okay. That's not too bad. So I guess 3,000 feet-ish we'll descend to. We'll go ahead and start that descent now. Let's see, did that get rid of? No, it didn't. Oh well. Probably the emergency jettison will jettison the tanks anyways. Let's see. We're about 10 miles out. I don't see the runway yet. Let's go ahead and go to standby. Just a little bit of nose up trim. Well, by golly, there it is. Let's see. Let's get the speed brakes out. Speed brakes out. Flaps down. Speed brakes. Pull speed brakes in. Flaps down. Let's get some heavy nose trim up. Just to help me out. Try to keep speed above 200 knots. Gear down. More nose up trim. Gear down. Flaps down, slides out. We're pretty stable. Alright, 200 knots. Let's put in some power. Lots of power.
100. Okay, gear, flaps, pressure, warning lights, anti-skid.
Yeah, that's all set. We're good. Ooh, that was rough. And parachute out.
You got that love and feeling? Because I think I just lost mine. Forever.
Shut up, Jester. Brakes. safety skid off. Let's try to just guide the nose. Ooh, that was a little rough. But okay. And then I think right shift P gets rid of parachute. Okay, yep, it did. Well, I didn't break the plane, so I'm happy with the results. Alright, so observations on first landing with the Phantom. It feels like I'm flying a cinder block. That's what it feels like. Whereas the Tomcat felt like I could at least abort with my wings. The Phantom feels like I would abort with the afterburners. The F-16 feels like a feather on the approach. So, dear goodness, that's gonna be weird. This is a weird plane to land. Hope that I just get myself into a oh well. I'll just stop here. Up here. Hold on to the brakes. I'm gonna ask the crew chief to put in the wheel chocks.
Roger.
Canopy open.
Yes, sir. Wheel chocks are in.
Let me let go of the brakes. RW wires coming off. Let's see. Shutdown checklist. Okay. Double touchdown. Deploy. Apply. Anti-skid. Okay. Pressure check. Safe. Landing taxi lights. Slats flaps. Drag chute off. Mode 4 select. Hold. Okay. RWR. Radar. CW power. We can turn that off. Okay. Sub aux switch is off. Oh, that's the drag parachute. Ooh. Interesting. Okay, now I know where it's at. Anyway. Alright. Internal wing dump normal, which it is. Oh. Turn that off. Let's see. Reference. Select switch. Standby. I guess I could have set that. Here it is. So I can turn that off. Okay, turn it back on standby. Remove off, pitot heat off. I never turned it on. Temperature default tacking. Never turned it on. Formation lights, never turned that on. Upper roll, sight shutter. I don't think we even have that. Or if it's even implemented. UHF radio off. Okay, that's off. Temperature AR switch extend if AR was. Right throttle off. Where's the left throttle though? Okay. Turn the generators off. IFF to off. All that's off. Don't need to do that much with that. Turn the oxygen off. All that's turned off. Shutting down is a breeze. Getting the thing started up is the problem. Okay. All right, that's it. Let's go ahead and go to debrief. Okay, what do we got? So yes, I got 2 vehicles. So the fan song was destroyed, and the flat face search radar was destroyed as well. Okay, so what was the problem? Let's do quick troubleshooting. So bandit timer start, unit dead. Yes. What was ground 1? Oh dear, I think I selected the wrong unit. Who's who? Ground 1, 2 is fan song, the tracking radar. That's what I really wanted to destroy. Guideline, flat face is the SAM site 1. Oh, everything was set. I just need to have ground 1, 2 as the unit. Timer start, ground, that was 1, 2. Which, why don't I just rename it to primary target? Primary. That way, I don't confuse it with whatever. Oh yeah, primary then turns on flag number 2, and then flag 2 starts going off, and then bandit spawns when flag 2 reaches a certain value. Fence out is if primary is dead. And then, well, that's all fixed. Excellent. So yeah, this was just a simple mission that I set up, and here's a MiG-21, but I think too what I'm going to do is have the AO something like this. So on the next one I test out, I can at least judge the range. Let's see. How far is that? 80 nautical miles, and how far is this? 101 nautical miles. Oy. That is quite the trip. So why don't we do... Yeah, 84 nautical miles is good enough. Just that was reference. And then just kind of move that in a little bit. And then we'll have a fence in shift. Something like that. Save. Okay, so yeah, this is a simple mission that I have just to introduce a training feature and then some randomness. I will be making more kind of training missions like this to kind of help me employ other stuff, and then I'll start making, and these are really just for me, just start making other missions to have different kind of scenarios and introduce higher amounts of randomness. But anyway, thanks for sticking around for this long, watching me fly the Phantom and landing it for the first time. Until the next time, this is Callsign Scooter, and I'm signing out.